when setting your glue on a narrow board, like a molding or something, 2 inches or less in width, these feet are the ones you want to use in their closest configuration. The space between them is the narrowest. What will this achieve? This will achieve that when you pull the trigger, you can get your highest heat on the milliamp meter on a narrow board. Now, your project is no longer a 2-inch or 1-inch wide board. It's a 4-inch wide board, and you can't achieve your high heat. There are 2 ways to achieve your high heat. One, you can take the feet that have pins that are off-center and turn them around and plug them back in. This will allow you to get high heat. Once you turn them around, you notice that the space between them is wider for a wider board. Now what that will achieve, higher heat on your milliamp meter, and that's what you want. So pull the trigger, and now you have your high heat by spacing the feet wider. If this is not enough heat, if this does not go high enough, then we remove these feet and we put in what we call special electrode feet. They are little 3/8-inch bars that will allow you to get your high heat on your project. Whether it's 4 inches or edge gluing, 2 6-inch boards or whatever it is, now we achieve our highest heat with the milliamp meter with the narrow feet. Narrow feet, a wide space between the feet for a wider board. Understanding that the frequency goes back and forth between the feet is important. If you're doing a miter joint, you simply cross the joint, have it perpendicular to the joint, about 5 seconds. In a very wide joint, maybe you do it twice. Once here and once there. On a narrower miter, like this one, you could just do it in one spot for about 5 seconds. What we've done is heated the glue, kicked out the moisture, and caused a set. In using the rollers, you will do it with ease by going along every 4 inches every 5 seconds. You would go along at the rate about this fast. You could do this on the edge of a table, many areas where you can utilize the rollers. While using the machine, you notice on the meter that it has a low reading, or that it is pegging the meter, would indicate a faulty tube. Low reading may also indicate a faulty tube. You should stop using the machine at that time and check out the tubes. This is a WorkRite model 4000. If you find tube replacement necessary, I want to show you the safest way to replace a tube. Number 1, you unplug the machine. Number 2, you would reach in and notice that there are 4 vertical aluminum plates. The inside plates go to the tube tops, and they go to the tube tops only, not the tube in the side, only to the tube top. That is considered a hot plate. We want you to touch the outer grounded plate with the tip of the screwdriver, and the shaft of the screwdriver will touch the inner high voltage plate. This would release any stored charge in the machine. Now, once you've done that, remove the tube from the box and disconnect the tube top and the tube side, and grab the tube at the base, turn it a quarter turn, and lift up. Being careful not to use this as a leverage and snapping it off. If you find that you have a bad tube and you don't know which one it is, you will receive a new tube. Take the old one out, as I demonstrated, get the new tube and put it in this position here, connect it, plug the machine back in, test the machine again until you have found that the machine is working fine again. Now, if it is not, you will have to take this tube that you've removed and go into the next tube and remove this tube, pull it out, and the tube you removed you will place in the next side. And you will do that all the way around until you have located the faulty tube. Make sure that you put the tube connections, the sides go to the sides only, the top connectors go to the top only. To keep your machine in good working condition, it's important to keep the screws tight and to make sure none of the components are touching each other. Making sure that it's in tune is very important, as we mentioned earlier, with this tuning coil. Now, looking into the handgun, noticing that all the components are equal spaced, we will not have any arcing. Arcing is a detrimental thing to the handgun and to the machine itself. So if you find that there's arcing inside, that just means that if one component is too close to another, you'll have to move the component over and tighten the screws and then tune it again, as we mentioned earlier, by watching the milliamp meter. Safety issues. In using the machine, it is completely safe. One of the things that is of concern is that because we know the energy, the radio frequency energy is attracted to water or moisture, and you always have water or moisture on your hand, you want to always keep your hand at least 2 inches away from the glue line. Don't try and hold the electrode feet close to your finger. It could arc over to your finger and burn your finger severely. So keep your left hand away from the electrode feet when you're using the machine. In regards to any employee health hazards, we have had the machine tested for occupational and controlled exposures for electromagnetic fields and electric fields. It has passed easily, and there is no health problems that will come from this machine. Remember that I mentioned you've got to keep your hands away because you could burn your fingers, but that's the most that could happen to you. In conclusion, I thank you for your time. I hope that I've answered some of your questions and shown you how to make some repairs. If you have any further questions, please refer to your manual or give us a call. We'll be here to service your machine. Thank you very much.